Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today. This is an interesting little situation. Hit the old interwebs over the past several days. Apparently there's a Russian billionaire who's actually the head of one of the biggest railway systems inside of Russia, who has some very powerful friends who may be able to get this thing accomplished. He is proposing that they lay a strip of tarmac between London, England, and New York City in the United States. Now, the trick is they're going to use some existing roads, but there's still a lot of pavement that needs to be laid down. He also wants to someday put together a high-speed rail system between New York and London. Now, the trick is it may think that, oh, this will never happen, but guess what? He's got some very powerful friends, including one of them being the president of Russia, Mr. Vladimir Putin, which means he could be able to punch this through, but this thing's got other problems, including the 55 miles of non-existent road that has to go over an ocean, which is in between Russia and Alaska. Not to mention the closest town to Alaska and the closest town in Russia to each other are 520 miles apart. That means a lot of automobiles don't have that kind of range, as they're going to have to put together some sort of setup to help cars out if they get stranded out there in the middle of nowhere. And then the bigger thing is, pretty much if this thing does exist and never happens, which I would love to see it, I won't be able to actually see it because this will never happen in my lifetime. It'll take way too long to put this together, but a very, very cool idea. Some cleanup from the New York Auto Show, one being the 570S from the folks over at McLaren, as they released European pricing for this machine. It will start off at 143,250 pounds sterling. Now that's around 213,000 US dollars. But again, they haven't released official pricing for the US market as of yet now. Another machine that was shown off at the New York Auto Show is this Mercedes G63-AMG, aka the G-Wagon. This thing gets quite an upgrade, as that twin turbocharged V8 is out the back door in favor of a brand new 6-liter twin turbocharged. You better sit down for this. V12. Yes, this thing's going to have 12 cylinders, twin turbochargers, making 603 brake horsepower and 738 pounds-feet of torque. And a machine that's built like this and this small and everything, this thing's going to be a monster, and it will be going on sale inside of the U.S. market. Another machine in the New York Auto Show, you've probably already seen some pictures of this, the brand new Subaru STI Performance Concept. Now right off the bat you may be thinking, oh sweet mercy, an STI BRZ? Well, hold your horses a little bit, because Subaru is actually going to spin off the STI brand as its standalone brand, much like the FCA did with SRT back in the day, even though they kind of pulled it back into the Dodge group. This particular machine, the entire underpinnings of this car, mainly the suspension and all the settings underneath there, is all right off their Super GT race car. Not to mention the power plant, which I looked all over the interwebs trying to figure out just what exactly kind of power that makes, but they're talking about this is a derivative that was from way back in the day, from the old flat 4 turbocharged lump that was actually powering the Subaru World Rally Championship cars, obviously way more refined and made more for track use. So we'll have to wait and see if anything like this ever comes to be, not to mention if STI will ever work over the BRZ. This may be something that may never happen, even though they continue to tease us over it. Nissan showing off their sporty sedan way back in the day. I can remember when they thought the new Nissan Maxima, it's a sports car for the family, even though it kind of wasn't, but sporty driving, they're harkening back to that with the brand new Maxima with these gorgeous brand new looks. Now this particular machine gets a 3.5 liter normally aspirated V6, which was a lot like the one in the old one, except Nissan's claiming that 60% of it is brand new, and in fact this thing will be making 300 brake horsepower. And the combined fuel economy will come in right around 30 miles per gallon. And this vehicle supposedly will go on sale in 2016 in the U.S. market with a starting price of $32,410 US dollars. That's obviously without dock fee and destination fee, but pretty cool piece of kit for the folks over at Nissan. Honda released a brand new Civic concept also at the New York Auto Show. This particular machine was actually designed entirely here in the United States and supposedly will be using the powertrain that's built in Ohio as we speak, the 1.5 liter turbocharged unit that they've released, yet to have released horsepower numbers on this particular deal. Honda claims this thing's going to have a sporty CVT, a constant variable transmission, which I don't know if I've ever heard of a sporty CVT before, but an also brand new 6-speed manual gearbox will go in this machine. They've also confirmed that the Type R, the Civic Type R that is, will be coming stateside. Not for 100% sure if it's going to be looking like this or the hatch version that's overseas. We'll have to wait and see on that deal as well. Another couple of little cleanup issues, one being the Fast and Furious 7. Yes, the 7th edition of the Fast and Furious franchise is actually in the middle of its opening weekend as I tape this particular program. And some interesting things, we're already hearing numbers of just shy of 150 million US dollars that this film has already produced in its opening weekend, supposedly crushing the closest opening weekend. And we haven't even counted all the numbers, at least as of yet, so pretty doggone impressive numbers. Another little story that's a cleanup that's still kind of up in the air. We're going to show this particular photograph of the fellow by the name of Alex Roy, who claims that he crushed the old lap record across the United States, doing it in 26 hours and 28 minutes. Well, there's a couple of things. Apparently this lap happened last year in 2014 in the month of October. Not to mention the fact that it was released, or at least talked about, on April 1st, which got a lot of people thinking, this must be an April Fool's joke. And a lot of websites are claiming that could be, but a lot of other websites are claiming this is in existence. I thought I'd just let this story come to me and wait for the bigger magazines, the bigger outlets to come out with this story. But nobody has touched this, which is entertaining. There's only a pair of car sites and a ton of sites that just kind of talk about cars a little bit here and there that have all confirmed that this deal actually took place. There may be a more interesting situation, as one website came to be telling that possibly this did happen last October, and they released it on the 1st of April for twofold. Number one, because they couldn't wait the entire year for the statute of limitations to go down about this deal. They wanted to brag about it that quick. But another deal they could have done is with the U.S. government or police officials came after him. He could have just went, April Fools, we didn't do anything, it was just a joke, and then kind of fade off into the sunset and still do something later on with apparently they shot this all on video, so it'll be all documented. So we'll have to wait and see, possibly for a long, long time, to figure out if this actually took place or not. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, the link's down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.